Hey everybody, I'm up early this morning picking the figs. I'm over at my Aunt Gladys's and it is probably 6:30 in the morning, and you've all heard the saying that the early bird gets the worm. Well, let me tell you, this morning the early bird gets the figs. You've all heard the saying that my cup runneth over. Well, let me tell you, my bucket runneth over this morning with these beautiful figs. I am so proud of them and thank Aunt Gladys for inviting me to come and pick this morning. So now I invite you to join me in my kitchen and I'll show you how I'm going to preserve them. So now I'm back in my kitchen, and welcome to Home with Halsteads, and welcome to my kitchen. I didn't tell you that when I was out picking figs this morning, but we're going to make these fig preserves and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. It is so very, very simple. In fact, it's ridiculously simple. So the first thing that I did when I got home was to take a bath and clean up. I started to say start washing the figs, but I didn't. I had to clean up a little bit. So now I have poured the figs in this big pan, and it's heavy. This is a lot of figs. I'm thinking that it'll make probably 10 pints. I hope it does, but 8 to 10 pints. And I have my jars in the dishwasher, so you may hear the dishwasher running. So the first thing that I want to do is to wash the figs. And so I'm just going to start some water running, and then I'm going to take a fig, hope you can see this, and I'm going to rinse it off with my hand, and then I'm going to remove the stem. Now a lot of people would take a knife and just cut that off, but I want to show you how I do it, and I'll bring you in closer and show you. I just twist it right off, and then I'm going to put it in this pan. So I'm going to do all of the figs that way. That is the first step in the process, is to wash your figs and take the stems off. So let me bring you in closer so I can show you exactly how I do that. Okay, let's destem some figs. So I'm washing the fig, and you'll see the stem right here. I'm just going to take my hand and twist it off. It's that simple, and it's fast. Just twist it off, and I'm going to work to destem this entire pan. See how quick that is? To me, it's faster than doing it with a knife. So I just twist it, and I learned that little trick from Aunt Gladys. So she taught me that, and I do appreciate it. So I'm going to finish this, and I'll be back, and then we'll start the process of cooking our figs. Okay, we're ready to start measuring and getting ready to cook our figs and make preserves. So the first thing that we want to do is to measure, and it is not measured by cups, it's measured by containers. You might have a bowl, you might have a measuring cup, you could use anything to measure, but what you want to do is to use a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 parts figs and 1 part sugar. 3 parts figs and 1 part sugar. So I'm going to measure using this is a 2-cup measuring cup, so I'm going to use this. And also I wanted to tell you that I'm using a heavy stainless steel saucepan. I don't have a large cooker like Mama had and like some of you may have, but you can use a large cooker and cook them all at one time. But I probably am going to have 2 cookings of my figs, but I'm home today, so this is my project. So now let's start measuring the figs. So that's 1, and I'm going to see how many of these cups I can get in there. I think I can get 6, and I'll try not to talk so much that I forget how many I'm putting in, but I want you to see how I do it. So it's going to take just a minute to do it. Okay, that's 2. And that's 3. So now I'm going to use the same measuring cup. It could be a bowl, it could be anything, and I'm going to pour sugar into it and measure my sugar. Remember, I said 3 to 1. So here I have one of these containers full of sugar. I think I'll put a little bit more. Okay, so there, I'm just going to pour the sugar over it, just like that. So now I think that it'll hold 3 more cups of the figs. So I'm just measuring the figs again, filling the container, which in my case it is a measuring cup or 2 cups. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're going to add another cup or measuring whatever you're using to the figs. Okay, 3 parts figs, 1 part sugar. Now, how simple was that? The next thing I'm going to do is add some lemon. I learned this from Aunt Gladys, so I'm just going to put that on top. And I might add a little bit of water. When I washed these, there's water still on the figs. So I'm going to start it on low. I'll take it over to the stove. I'll turn my temperature on to low. I'm going to cover it and I'm going to let it start getting warm. In a few minutes, I'll take a spoon and I'll stir down to the bottom. You don't want them to scorch, but if you start it low, then you're not going to have that problem. But you do want to watch them. You do want to stay with it. Your sugar will begin to dissolve, and once it starts cooking, then I'll come back and we'll look at it together. I wanted to show you our figs. They have been cooking for probably an hour and a half. I'm going to continue to let them cook for probably another 45 minutes to an hour, and then they'll be ready to put in the jars. Now, my figs, the majority of them are hopefully are going to remain whole. Doug likes them whole. Now you could take them and you could mash them up if you wanted to, but we like them whole. So I'm just going to let them continue to cook down, and then I'll be putting them in the jars. Okay, it's time to put our figs in our jars, and I cannot stress enough that this is where you want to be really, really careful and do not get burned. So don't have any children around you when you're working with this, and just be really, really careful. If you saw my corn relish video, you know that I washed my jars in the dishwasher, and then I put them on this round flat tray, and I put them in the oven to keep them warm. You want your jars to be warm when you put your figs in them. And here again, I'm just using this little funnel that we've had forever and eternity. I also put the jar lids, which I bought new. I put them in some water and heated them on the stove. And the jar rings, I already had those. So I do reuse the rings, but I do buy new jar lids. So let's get started. And I'm going to take a half a cup, and I'm just going to dip. Oh, I wanted to show you. I took the lemon out. And this is so good to eat when it cools, so just enjoy you some lemon. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to dip the figs and fill the jars. This is going to be so good. I can just taste it now with a good hot buttered biscuit. Okay. So I fill it up to the rim is what I like to do. And now I'm going to move the funnel, and I'm going to take a damp paper towel, and I'm just going to run around the top, making sure that there's nothing sticky on there. And then I'm going to get a ring and a lid. And as I told you when I made the corn relish, you don't have to dry this. I just kind of shake it to get some of the moisture off of it. But if you feel better about it, then you can dry it. So I'm just going to place that on there like that, and the ring the same way. Just going to shake it. If you want to dry it, you can certainly dry it. So now I'm just going to screw the top on it, and I have 2 dishcloths here. These are old. This bottom one is just kind of semi-damp. It's not wet, it's just kind of semi-damp so that it'll give me something to grip. And then I just laid this other little dry towel on top of it, little hand towel. So now I'm going to very carefully pick it up, and I'm going to take another cloth, and I'm going to tighten the jar just like that. And I do hope that you can see this. And then that one's ready to set aside and wait for it to seal. So I'll go through that process one more time real quickly, or at least through half of it so that you can see again. So you just want to fill your jar, take your lid and your ring. Make sure you wipe the top of the jar before you start sealing so that there's no sticky on it. Just like that. Get you a jar ring. Wipe it off or just shake it dry. Put it on the top. Put the ring on it. Grab your semi-damp towel and get you another towel and seal. And that's it. So I'm going to work and finish filling our jars, and we're going to have some delicious canned preserves, fig preserves. Okay, everybody, we're finished with our project for today. We canned some figs, or made some fig preserves, and I am so proud of them. I had 12.5 pints out of that bucket of figs. So I am going to let them finish cooling, and they've already started popping, so I know that they're sealing, and we are set for the winter. We love good sausage and homemade biscuits, and I put butter in mine and eat them with preserves, and they're just wonderful. So I hope that you're enjoying all of the fresh fruits and vegetables that are so plentiful right now, and that you're getting to can or freeze some things to store up for the winter as well. So let me show you. Let me come a little bit closer. I had a couple left, and I just wanted to show them to you. Look at that. I'm going to taste it. Oh, all I need is a good buttered biscuit. I hope you have a blessed day. I'll see you again really soon.